Yeah, that's buttons. I've hit all the buttons. What's up, everybody? Back again, Warp Charge Gaming. It's me, George, and Chris, and James. And we're hanging out with you this week for episode 103, 102, practically 2 years of doing live talk shows. God. Yeah, Thursday night.
Dude, 2 years. What can you accomplish in 2 years?
It really has. Did I swear
like
that
an associate's degree?
Yeah, good one. That's a good one. The first 52 episodes, dude, they seemed to like really, like I was surprised when 1 year came. But in the way that like, we hadn't. I guess I don't know. It feels like it got here faster than it did before. Like the second year came faster than the first year. That was hard to say.
That's a crazy year.
Yeah, there has been a lot that's happened. And just over the last couple weeks, a lot's happened. When we missed, so okay, guys, my fault, fessing up. I missed last week. Me and Chris played a game, an awesome game. And Chris, you were playing Gene Stealer Cult, and I was playing Chaos with the Mauler Fiends and shit, right?
Yeah, I was playing pure Gene Stealer Cult, and you were playing your Disco Lord, Alpha Legion, Slanesh, Insanity List thing.
Right, I have, let's see, Alpha Legion, Chris and I's last game. Picture, I got a visual aid on the screen, buddies. Chris is driving around now, he can't see it. But it was awesome. We deployed, we fought, I went first. It was cool. Chris had blip markers. The blip markers are a great way we found to stop my list, the Mauler Fiends and the Discos and all that. It's all about that like advance and charging off the Slanesh demons. Played it a lot, we all know and love it. But the blip markers are a great way to counter that.
They definitely slow you down. Additionally, though, 2 caveats out the gate. I played one of my new psychic powers wrong, heavily to my advantage, because it couldn't have affected the lords that I used as skill. And additionally, you could have made the game much harder had you taken the relic to make all my command stratagems cost 1 more command point.
Yeah, the Hydra's Whale. Man, you're familiar with that one, James? From Ritual of the Damned. Have you studied the Alpha Legion / T-Sons very much out of the Ritual of the Damned books, James?
I looked at the Alpha Legion.
Yeah, Alpha Legion.
T-Sons.
Whoo! The T-Sons, I would gotta say that because the T-Sons is crazy, because here it is a mono faction, but has an entire, like Chaos Space Marines, like that's you get all these different sub-factions that have their own warlord traits, but now you're still Thousand Sons, but you have all these versions of Thousand Sons within Thousand Sons. So it feels a little...
Thousand Sons.
It's kind of a little, it's cool because you feel like you have so many ways that you can play the pure codex, even though they're still intermixable with other Chaos factions.
Why can't Khorne be that way?
I know, right? Like, why it would be awesome if there was cults of the Legion for Khorne, just like there is for Thousand Sons.
Someday.
Yeah. If World Eaters like had their own individual kind of tribes within or something like that, that could be awesome.
So exciting.
That would be so exciting. Well, there is a lot to be hopeful for. I mean, as we heard from this latest drop, so Chris and I played that crazy game, and then I fucking basically totally farted out on remembering there was a talk show that night. But there's been many games over the last couple weeks that I hope you guys have gotten to check out. If you haven't, do so. They've been great games, lots of different cool peoples. But the 9th edition, man, 9th edition and new Necrons is the talk of the town.
Also new AdMech and
Chaos Knights? What is it, Chaos Knights?
And Imperial Knights.
War.
Oh, and Imperial Knights. Oh, yeah, I think I got a little... Yeah, new rules for Imperial Knights, Psychic Awakening. What are they putting? So how's this work? We got AdMech and then the Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights are in the same book?
AdMech, both Knight houses, Imperial and Chaos, as well as Demons. But we have not seen spoilers yet.
Gotcha. Well, new rules are cool. We got you for the most part, Chris. You might break up a little bit on us, but you're the one that's read the most on the AdMech and Knight releases, so I'm a little out of tune with that. I've totally studied pretty hard the 9th edition talk.
Oh man, let me tell you.
There's people hype. I've seen a lot of memes. Like I've seen people like, gotta sell my shit and get AdMech, or woo, my days finally came, kind of thing.
First off, before we get into anything, with the announcement of 9th edition, Games Workshop snuck a really dirty thing on us. They did a major price hike on a lot of products. There is over 132 of some 200 plus products that have gotten a price hike, and for over half of those that got price hike, it is the second price hike within a year's time. Shiesty move, Games Workshop. They were basically like, here's ninth edition. Oh, also, don't look behind the curtain of the price hike.
Interesting. Well, you know, so just to double off of that, like, I mean, well, one, I'm trying to pull up a picture of these new models they're giving us. I mean, one, I got fucking my Ragnar. Here's a Ragnar on screen. I got Ragnar painted up, the new Gazgul. All these Psychic Awakenings, 9th edition. They're doing a lot of work behind the curtains. You know, it's like, it's shiesty because they do it without saying anything, but do we got to respect the hustle?
That new AdMech plane, which is saucy. It has some really solid rules.
I didn't even see that. There's a new AdMech plane, huh?
Well, most of these were teases from Nova, or was it? It was from maybe the Vegas Open, I think. So these were not super new pictures. That new AdMech plane's $100 though, just the plane.
Woo! $100 planes.
Oh, here it is. Oh, this thing's sick looking though.
Yeah, it looks like an ornithopter kind of thing. It's cool. While we're talking about the plane, it has a lot of really cool stuff. It can take like what is it called? Not a slag launcher, some kind of launcher, a chaff launcher, which can make incoming damage to it reduced by 1, so it makes it more survivable. It has some decent offensive and defensive power, but most importantly, what a lot of people are seeing that they really, really like, 1 CP stratagem. It gives the plane a 6-inch aura that shuts down enemy auras.
What?
Yes.
Right.
That's the gayest thing I've ever seen.
Well, but James, the thing that I love about that, the thing I saw somebody excited about it was that they said, fuck you, Savior Protocols.
Yeah, there's a lot of argument over whether it affects Savior Protocols, because a lot of top players are arguing, well, technically it's not an aura because it affects the taken wounds, not the model in range of the...
What? Yeah. Oh, they're already trying to cheese it out.
I would say it's not an aura either.
But it says a model within 3 inches. That sounds like an aura effect to me.
It's you know, my intuition tells me that it affects Savior Protocols, aka it turns off. But
me
honestly,
too.
I don't know. Like, I haven't delved super into the, you know, the ins and outs. They have some really crazy other things, like the crazy flying jetpack guys. I forget what they're called, but they are pistoliers. They have a cool rule that lets them shoot their pistols after they advance, which is not something we've seen. Also, it makes me wonder if they'll take a -1 penalty to that.
Sounds like some Eldar shit to me.
Yeah. One of their gun options is a D6 shot flamer that is strength 5 neg1 AP, aka better than the Gene Stealer Cult flamer pistols. So that's saucy, especially because they're fast and they can advance and shoot their pistols. There's all kinds of stuff. The other big one, and I think this is really the last thing they teased, of course, like with everyone else, they've teased the build your own Forge world. This is really cool. The two traits they teased are really, really absurdly good. Alpha Legion players, aka both of you, will appreciate it. Both of these auras, or both of these build your own Forge worlds, work similarly. Basically, they only affect things shooting at them from more than 12 inches away, similar to the Alpha Legion rule. And one of them reduces incoming strength of shooting weapons by 1, and the other one reduces incoming AP of shooting weapons by 1. And you normally pick 2 of these, so right out the gate, you could have all guns shooting at you, 1 less AP and 1 less strength.
Wow.
That's super powerful.
That is very powerful.
It's interesting though. I mean, because there's all these +1 to wounds now. You know, like that's the sauce that when you're searching through strats and aura abilities, like what gives me +1 to hit, what gives me +1 to wound. It's always on the mind, you know. And
yeah.
So now making that a negative modifier makes sense as a counter to that, you know.
Also, they teased the Warlord trait, and this one's interesting. You can pick, and I think you can only do each of these once per game. But you have a Warlord trait for AdMech that's new. And you have 3 different aura abilities you can pick, but you can only use them for 1 turn, and you can switch. Basically, you can literally. It's almost like having, you know, like a Doctor and Alpha character or something. One of them is friendly units within 6 have exploding 6s in the shooting phase. One of them is friendly units within 6, I think, is reroll charges. And I forget what the third one is, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
The exploding 6 in the shooting phase is a scary one. For
Oh, yeah. Oh, funny enough, that reminds me of one thing, but the chat's blowing up with some other examples of ways that there are shutdowns in 40K, like Mike had mentioned Xandriak. Maybe that's a Necron character. Bobby mentioned Night Lords. I was thinking of the Forbidden Gym, of course, from Slaanesh Demons. And now, another trend is the like Hydra's Whale. We were talking about that in our game, Chris, of how that. I was about to mention that to you, James, a minute ago. Is that Alpha Legion Hydra's Whale relic? It almost is like it forces you to just want to bring Alpha Legion. Period. Now, granted, this is something that Raven Guard and the Assassins have now, or at least one of them, that makes people CP anytime they spend stratagems. On a 4+, they have to spend an extra command point to do it.
Oh, yes, I know. I'm very familiar with this. I bring it doubles.
Right. Like, it's so nasty.
Super powerful in doubles.
Yeah.
If you're splitting your command point pool.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So now what I love is that by halving Alpha Legion, like basically the block that I've been adding to, I want to talk about list design, but I've been playing a lot with Thousand Suns. Shout out to Bobby Halls. He's a Thousand Suns player and been motivating me to want to try to make some pure lists. But I can't resist mixing the shenanigans of Thousand Suns, new with the Ritual of the Damned book, with the Alpha Legion. And that Hydra's Whale ability is so nasty. And when people, it's cool too when people take a battalion, or you can tell that their army is CP hungry, that you go to you pay 1 extra CP to bring that relic. Where you don't necessarily have to like take up one of your relic slots without necessarily deciding you need it. Because some people they'll play, like Mike played just some super heavies and just had like 3 CP. He didn't care about it at all. So at that point it'd be like wasted in my list as far as me kind of paying the resources for it if I didn't need it. So it's nice to throw in. It's usually an auto include. You see somebody with 2 battalions, like, yeah, I'm going to bring this, But that's another mechanic we're seeing become more prevalent, which is interesting about how all this intersects with 9th edition, because here we are talking about the new Psychic Awakenings and stuff like that, and 9th edition at the same time. And what's kind of historical and wild is the way that we've experienced. I started in 7th edition. I think you did too, right, James?
Yes.
Yeah. So Chris, you were way before that. 4th?
I started reading the rules in 3rd edition, but I didn't really get games until 4th.
Yeah. So I've only seen the transition from 7th to 8th, and now potentially 8th to 9th. I was around when we all were when they did the Sigmar transition, when it went from like fantasy to Sigmar 2.0, and we can kind of reflect, right? We can see how they did Shadespire releases, Kill Team. We've seen a lot of newness over these last like several years of there was like old editions of Kill Team and whatnot, but it's interesting to me that all these new books that have been coming out are going to be a part of it, especially after we saw the 8th edition transition where they had to kind of gut everything, go back to square one, and everybody was in that index state. We still never even transitioned from the Forge World indexes, and now, according to the new previews from GW, we're going to have GWs taking over the rule writing for Forge World.
Thank God.
Which is amazing. So now, like, maybe in our codexes, we're going to see the Forge World pages. You think we'll see the fucking data sheets for Forge World in the 1GW?
George, have you seen some of the stuff they're talking about with their army builder and digital rules and everything that has been brought up?
Oh, no, that's a whole other thing. I haven't even really heard more about it. There's some exciting stuff about our digital army builder, huh?
Oh, man.
I use the Azir app for Age of Sigmar, so I'm familiar with how that operates, and I'm curious to compare it. And there's people that are like, yay, if it's like that, fuck it if it is, whatever. But, man, go ahead.
There's definitely some news. And granted, all of this has kind of been mentioned in passing. Some of this is still in the rumor mill. Some of this is still, like, discussed. But there have been mentioned from Games Workshop that they do want to create a system where, and this isn't necessarily going to be ready at the launch of 9, where when you buy a rule book, you will basically be unlocking the files for their new army builder in 9th edition. So, like, if you buy the digital rulebook, or if you buy the core rulebook, their army builder that they're rolling out with 9th edition, which is supposed to be something they want to compete with Battle Scribe. They want to have a market on that. And like they want to discourage people from just going out and getting free rules because that's very, 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 almost everyone does it at this point. It's unfortunate, but you know what, I'm no saint. But I digress. That being said, like if in their army builder, if putting in your CD key from your book, whether it's digital or non, you unlock all of the army building files for building this army, they're going to make so much more money than they would otherwise.
Totally. Oh yeah, because the main thing is that the army builders, might have been cutting myself in and out. The main thing is that the army builder is going to be so sick is that you're going to be motivated to want to have the feature of your digital book to correlate with the rules in hand. Because just like in the Azir app, you can do the same thing of have your codexes with inside. I hope that it's not as because there is kind of a negative experience of like iBooks PDFs versus the Azir version of having your books. I have one codex, the Blade of Corn. No, I got the Wrath of the Everchosen book inside of the Age of Sigmar Azir app, and it's a pain in the ass because you can't like bookmark and like Control F like find. It just doesn't have the same kind of features
formatting.
To like to save your places in the book. And I don't know, it might just be that I haven't found out how to do it in that interface yet, but hopefully it's a smooth situation. But the idea of that, like, cool, you're in your army builder and somebody's like, let's look at the details of that rule, and when you can trust your army builder just as much as the book, it's really convenient for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like that's just like the tip of the iceberg on what they're claiming they're reforming for 9th edition.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. Yeah, so we got the so all these Psychic Awakening books and shit are going to be relevant, and as new codexes come about, then they're going to basically take the best of the rules that they found that worked in the Psychic Awakenings, and they're going to go into the new codexes that come into 2.0 format. But I guess besides the core mechanics of the game, the way that we're playing with the rules of our army is relatively going to be the same. It's just that the fact that like we were talking about like CP batteries and like the CP denial. Well, apparently how I'm understanding it, the way they've alluded to is that we're going to have equal command points starting the game in the army building step, and we're going to basically deduct command points instead of adding them up. So versus like taking a bunch of tax squads to equal the battalions and things that give us the points, we may still use these detachments and whatnot, but they're just going to be a means to an end to fit your shit in your army. The more detachments you take and get the more different sub-faction keywords and allies and things of that nature, the more I guess it's going to cost you in command points. And beyond that, they're even discussing things like there's going to be new actions that we can do. Like it sounds like they're talking about taking things into outflank and maybe even in game. Like you're taking somebody off the board and bringing them back the next turn for command points.
Well, I don't know about taking them off the board, but people have even mentioned possibly like spending a CP to hold something in reserve past turn 3 for a turn. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
It's its own value. And I think what a lot of people are expecting is a system where, like each player will get like one command point for, let's say, every 100 points of game. So like if you're playing 2K, expect both players to start baseline at like 20 CP, give or take.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, like that, the way that rewards mono faction and big detachments is that, like obviously you're deducting less.
It's pretty much like you're like, okay, if I want 2 different styles of rules, like, see, that's the thing is like when I play Space Wolves and I take 3 detachments, I'm literally only taking 3 detachments to get more command points. Every detachment is just pure Space Wolves. Where in Chaos or Thousand Suns, I'm souping. I'm taking multiple Cults of the Legion. I'm taking multiple, Seps from Tau or Cultures from Orcs.
It seems like they want to get rid of the feel bad element of like trying to game CP generation to the point that they've even actually outright said in one of their teasers that they're going to be getting rid of CP farm mechanics.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Like, I don't know what they're going to do with those mechanics. Like, what is it? What's the space? Is it Kill Off or Imperial Guard or whatever? But I don't think those mechanics are going to survive the transition.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll write it in some way that has the same similar feel, but I don't know. You know, if it says like +1 command point, and you're doing all these things to deduct command points, it might not be far off. Like, cool, get a command point, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all very exciting, and I think it's interesting that that's really the things that are going to change is the points. Like that's I think what we're working on right now. It seems like the rules are hashed out, and right now the rules writers, the teams are kind of finalizing the update to all the data sheets.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the timeline, right around now is when they would be getting their ducks in a row to send chapter approved to the printing presses. So, like, perhaps we're not getting a chapter approved this year. Perhaps instead, for December as a rollout, we're going to see the next edition.
Right, which in a sense is almost just like chapter approved because we're keeping all of our fucking codexes, and it's literally just a book of rule point changes and then core rule changes.
Yep. Totally agree, man. And I mean, so we're still seeing a lot of the same mechanics work. Some of the caveats are they're changing. They're completely overhauling flyers, as most people are aware by now. We don't know exactly how.
Yeah.
I have my suspicions, but everything that I think is completely hearsay, and I'm not going to go into those details.
Well, they did directly mention how
on nothingness.
They definitely want the planes to be able to fly off the board.
Modifiers are going to change. Now the max you can ever get is +1 or -1 to stacking modifiers. That is hugely significant. You're not going to see -3 Eldar plane.
The new, let's see, I'm just checking the comments there. Yo, they totally did say that like flyers are going to be able to go off the board though and come back. That was one thing they did say direct. So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, terrain is I think a big part of a lot of the questions that were related to like what does this do for combat? How is like Tyranids going to feel in 9th edition? Shit like that. Like we know tanks can shoot in combat now, but so can monstrous creatures. And what exactly does that mean? Does that mean that they only can they shoot into a combat, or can they only shoot into a combat that they themselves are in? But apparently terrain is going to be a lot more line of sight blocking. They said there's going to be shenanigans. What I'm excited about is it looks like there's less denial or cheesiness to how terrain interacts with things not being able to get engaged with each other. Monstrous creatures on the bottom floor not being able to fight an infantry unit that's pretty much touching their backside but not able to engage with them because they're 3 inches higher, Did you get to check out any of that kind of stuff, Chris? I think we lost Chris. James, did you get to check out any of that stuff, James?
I briefly looked at it. I didn't go through the whole sheet and read because I didn't get a release date.
I gotcha.
I don't know when this is actually going to affect me,
Yeah. Well, I'll try to. That's where I wanted to know that so I could make sure I'm giving you the skinning here. But yeah, terrain is going. I got actually a little Goonhammer. If you guys don't know Goonhammer, goonhammer.com. He killed it with a transcript. Also talking about the new Necron release, man. That shit is pretty.
Dude, the amount of models they're getting is quite insane. And I'm very intrigued to find about the killer kegs.
Killer kegs
look awesome.
I'm trying to get a picture of that new shit up here. Man, I think personally, I've been saying that, like if you think about Sisters of Battle, that was like a really big update release. We've gotten like these one-off models, Ragnar, Gazgul, the new Eldar update, but nothing has felt as like mic drop badass because everything's been like Primaris and Marines and shit.
I guess Death Guard when they first hit those like streets in 8th.
Maybe that's when
that was the full overhaul.
That's the nearest comparison I can say, dude. I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this Necron picture? There it is. Oh, here we go. Big Necrons. Bam. I think I grabbed this from Goonhammer. I did. Okay, I don't know if he wrote all the little what's that and can't even what the hell.
No, GW actually did that.
Oh wow, I love how they were like sucked to be these guys for the Primaris guys standing tall to it all. I don't give a damn about the Primaris updates, but like yeehaw, I'm glad that they're fleshed out. The bikes look cool. We talked a little bit on the channel. Chris, you're making a freaky ass face, dude. We got the Necrons up on the screen, you fucker. These things are awesome looking, dude. Let's see, I got the big Primarch buddy here. Yeah, the Primarch and that fucking guy riding the like flying podium.
That's the Silent King, sir.
Yeah, and then folks are like, if you look right behind the new Catan-looking model, there's also that big arch that almost looks like it's a new terrain piece. You haven't heard many people talking about the new Necron terrain piece there might be in this image.
Yeah, in the far back. We had the Catan. People think it's the Void Dragon. It's
Shard of the Void Dragon.
Oh, because he has like a dragon tail there?
He's got dragon tail, he's got wings,
Yeah. He's fucking sick looking, dude. He looks like Primarch stats all day.
You know what's really cool is this whole Blackstone stuff. And like all these new models are covered in this Blackstone. And it's that like greenish stone look that is on the sides of the Silent King on those pillars. It's also in the new monolith, the greenish stone that's in the entry gateway. Like that's all Blackstone, and all these little models have like little pieces of Blackstone on them. It's pretty cool, which is all anti-sacred shit.
Want to close the warp?
Yeah, so much of the aesthetics and just like the way that they're like making it creepy and it's real cool, man. I like how they went.
Cool.
I like how they went away from like the kind of the Terminator RoboCop style to more like these fucking ancient alien folks.
Yeah, these models definitely more fit their lore.
Yeah. I'm super excited, and I think it's and that's Chris had mentioned the price hike, and I'm so impressed. I don't want to pay these prices either, but goddamn, dude, if they don't really, it's mainly what we forget is just how amazing there are other sculptors out there too, though. Like Creature Caster and shit. If there was another there's no way that it's kind of like Magic the Gathering, how that took off as a card game. When that had its boom, and really just since then, no card game could really compete with that level of popularity. Even though there's other great card systems, the Final Fantasy card game, whatever. There's not that I play Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball Z or any of those, but there's a lot of cool fan art and games and shit. And there's a lot of great sculpts out there, but they're really cornered the market with what they have accomplished over the many, many years. And it's kind of like Apple. I still buy Apple shit, It's like, I don't know, man. They get to do it, obviously. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. And that's and how much we deserve for them to be transparent to us, also questionable, But I would love them to be wide open and all about the consumer. But, I guess I feel less bitter about it because I've fallen in love with the wonderful game of Infinity and the wonderful company that is Corvus Belli, who is night and dark, fucking night and day. They're like holy saints compared to GW, who's fucking Satan pushing their fucking unholy crack, man. Wow. Hey, I'm hooked, man. Fucking 666 sign of the devil. Give me some of that plastic shit right now. But
you're gonna take our product and you're gonna like it.
I'll go play with the metal minis for Corvus Belli and get my nice affordable price to my nice balanced game.
You sound ridiculous, George.
Maybe so. Just lost 200. Mike says you just lost 200 viewers. Fuck. I wish I had 200 viewers right now to lose, dude. Fuck, shit. We don't even get 200 viewers total on these things. Thank you for watching, friends. Appreciate you. You're the ones that matter to us, man. It's good to be back, though. I missed you guys last week, yo.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
Now, I've been going crazy, though, about games. I'm super pumped about everything that's going on, and I'm really pumped. I played Infinity this past week, and Chris is finally, he's going to cash in. James, I beat Chris 7 times in a row, okay? Just saying. And that's with multiple armies and shit.
That was with you playing multiple armies.
Yeah, you switched it up a couple times, too.
Yeah, I switched up my roster a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but basically, Chris made a deal that every time he got a defeat, he owed me a gaming hookup, like a favor. I've been trying to nag him to play Infinity. Yeah, dealer's choice. I wanted him to play Warcry, I wanted him to play Kill Team, I wanted him to play Infinity.
So he's racked up all these credits, huh?
I've racked it all up, dude. So
I got 7 blank checks right now.
I'm fucking balling on Chris's time right now. And so
insane,
it's awesome. Bro. Yeah. So I'm cashing in this upcoming Sunday. I'm teaching Chris fucking Infinity, dude.
On virtual tabletop?
Yeah. We really should just turn on the camera because it's going to be badass and we're going to have fun.
Oh, for sure. Plus, I think it'll be like at least topically beneficial for anyone who wants to go into Infinity.
I think so too, mainly because you're so educated or acquainted with playing games. I mean, you've been playing like your whole life, and that it really helps when it comes to digesting a new game system like Infinity. When you're able to like kind of think about game design and like the way that you enjoy the interaction of the rule mechanics and all that shit, it helps.
George, I can remember very vividly in 7th edition me complaining that I wish that 40K had like a system more like a D10 or a D20 system.
Oh, for a long time you said that, yeah.
Just because like, you know, you can have more variance in like, you know, like your actions. Like, oh, this action matters this much. It's like so much less bursty. You know, granted, you know, then you got to carry around a bunch of different dice and you look like a huge nerd. But I don't know. Like, I'm interested to check out Infinity.
Well, because of things like what you just said is why I'm so excited. And just to show some pictures off, one, you know, again, we were just making it with this kind of spawned this moment of me talking about this because we're talking about GW, Games Workshop versus, say, Corvus Belli and Infinity. I explored a new game system a long while back, over a year ago, and I'm fucking totally blown away and in love with the game Infinity. And they do so much, the reason beyond just the game, to care about the integrity of the game so much that it like reflects how much they care about their players as well. And they in tabletop, just like, you know, like fucking Games Workshop's almost like Metallica and Napster when it comes to tabletop simulator. They're like, shut it down, shut down Battlescribe, use our shit, raise the prices, you know. Where Infinity's like, keep all the prices the same. Make sure that the fucking rules aren't, you know, we're not just putting out an unbalanced unit to sell models kind of thing. Well, in Tabletop Simulator, they completely provided us a fantastic environment that has all the things you would need to play Infinity in real life. It gives you all the models, all the like the Battlescribe to TTS. They've already gave you all the models with the built-in rules, you know. And like, for instance, here's an example of a 3-story building in an Infinity environment provided by Corvus Belli. And you can toggle the different states of the building to be able to get what's inside the building, which is super important in Infinity. So like, here's that same 3-story building with on the bottom floor there. And you can easily go to the 2nd and 3rd floor and manipulate that in real time in the game. That's going to be awesome. Here's a look at the army I'm going to run versus Chris. It's a limited insertion 10-man list there, a single combat group. And then here's Chris's Hakaslam list. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And on Sunday, I'll do my first cash-in. Yeah, he's playing Rama Task Force, a sectorial of the Hakaslam.
My people have all of the silver.
It's going to be awesome, though. And I think, Chris, that you're going to find so many things that you appreciate about it, and you'll fall in love very quickly. It's going to be great. So there's that. There's been a shit ton of games, dude. Mike and I played a doubleheader the other day where he ran triple Seraptics. He did. Every time I played Mike, he's been doing these fucking super heavy lists. Here we go. What's this one? So he did this triple volt. Yeah, triple volts with the fucking triple ghost arcs or doomsday arcs, and then. Super heavy fight. Yeah, this one here. Bam. This was funny as shit. This list I think really has legs, and it was kind of
Oh wow! I actually heard about this game, and like this sounds like this game is worth everyone's time to watch. As a heads up,
it was actually really good, dude. Like, I brought this super heavy list of triple Lord of Skulls and a Brass Scorpion with a double Ox detachment, like where I'm literally paying CP to bring these detachments. Single Blood Master with a Crimson Crown, single Master of Possessions, Cursed Earth, Infernal Power, and Demon Smith Warlord trait from the Iron Warriors. So a super heavy detachment, 2 auxiliary detachments that cost CP just to bring, but it gives you exploding 6s to hit and exploding 6s to wound on the shooting and combat. And then you're giving yourself with Infernal Power or whatever, reroll 1s to hit and wound, and you're giving yourself a 4-up invuln. So you have all these buffs. And Mike brought basically a direct, like, oh, you go super heavies? Fuck you, I'm Necron. So he brings 3 pylons and 3 doomsday arcs.
Yeah.
And 1 character that can teleport. And so basically I'm just using the L's of the board as tightly as possible, using Lords of Skulls as additional walls paired with the fucking L shapes to hide as much as my mod. I basically was feeding him 2 models a turn and not any more than that, so he couldn't just blow up everything. And turn by turn was blowing up a pylon at one at a time, till it came down to just like a few smoking fucking models on the table. And I had the win. I had the win set up.
That sounds so crazy.
You could have done nothing and won by a point.
It was silly as fuck that it went to. I thought it'd be over immediately. Turn 3, whatever. It goes all the way to turn 6. On turn 6 is the tie game. I'm like, how is this so fucking close? At the end of turn 6, I see that, hey, if I do nothing this turn, I score a point by just doing nothing. I get 1 point and I win the game. Or I could take my Master of Possession and go try to punk his wounded Catan. He had the little character. It was a little pissant Lord, 75-point Necron character in the back hiding, and I decided to go wreck him with my Dark Crozius on my Master of Possession.
The Traveler or something.
Yeah, Warlord versus Warlord. I'm gonna end this with a slam dunk in your face, Mike piss on your grave kind of thing. But you know what happens? I have like it's like a 4-inch charge. Like, game's won already, but I got a 4-inch charge to go slam dunk on his face. Fucking eye perils with a 6. I have 3 wounds left. Roll a 3. And I kill my Warlord, which that happens to give Mike last strike, kill the Warlord for old school. And it gives him kill and kill more when he didn't have it before. And it gives him, and because I didn't kill the model I was going to go kill, he got score more. So he literally, like, because of my turn, boosted up 6 points. And I was last to act. I had denied him last strike, Warlord. It was stupid.
I'm so happy that happened.
So on camera, you could see George roll 3 wounds against himself on a perils when he shouldn't have cast a power in the first place to kill myself and lose the game, handing it to Mike. So Mike's like the only one that's beat me in these weird fucking long streak I've been on. I've been kicking some ass.
George has been murdering.
And
I actually finally broke my anti-streak recently.
Yeah, and you were playing Connor, right?
I did. I had a great game.
That's awesome. That's another one on the channel. That was a great game. I played my Thousand Sons versus Connor's Harlequins. The new Harlequins are pretty damn saucy for sure.
They are. I got to play against the new Harleys as well. And yeah, I was rolling I have a bunch of D3 damage weapons, and I think out of 30 rolls that were D3 damage, all of them were 3 damage except for 3.
Yeah. Wow.
Basically, it was oh, you have 3, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah. Bobby said they couldn't handle the magic. And Mike says, because you said my list was trash, but then spent an hour in the deployment being afraid. When I played Mike's triple vault list, I was talking mad shit to him because I made this super saucy Thousand Suns list. I was like, Mike, dude, can you please bring something real? This is going to be not very entertaining. He brought 3 volts and 3 Doomsday Arcs or whatever. Or no, 3 volts and a fucking, just one other model, yeah. I was like, this is going to suck, dude. It did not suck. No, it was 3 volts, 3 Doomsday. It did not suck. It was a great game. And it went all the way to the turn 6, and Mike damn near beat me with 3 volts against my sauced up T-Sun list. I had all these, I invested all these points in these Rubric Marines that could get all these invulns and shit. He was just ripping them off the board with the Volt Catan powers,
Yeah.
He was making my shit just not worth anything, but I was able to get the job done. And really, it was the Obliterators that won the game. I've been definitely in love with Obliterators, especially when you sauce them up with either using Prescience or using the Warp Side Plea from the Dark Apostle. Give them that +1 to hit. Get that Infernal Power off of the Master of Possession and give it reroll hits of 1 to hit and wound is super nasty. And then, Gaze of Fate, one of those dice if you need more damage or whatever. There's just so much you can stack on those guys, and not to mention the shoot twice. Oh, and Veterans of the Long War. I was blown away that you can Vets of the Long War on shooting and combat. I'd only used it on combat before. That's nasty as fuck. And the cool thing in the new list, James, is you can shoot twice with your either Rubric Marines or Occult Terminators, and you can shoot twice with the Slaanesh fucking Obliterators.
Yeah.
So like I'm shooting twice, and Veterans of the Long War, one of them, using Prescience and a Warp Side plea. So you're giving me 2 different units plus 1. And unfortunately, because one's T-Sun, one's Alpha Legion, you can't do the Infernal Power on both of them. But you can't actually.
There's not. You had a Hellbrute there with some las cannons.
For a third shoot twice? A third shoot twice?
And no one would fuck with it because they have other things to fuck with.
So many other things to fuck with, dude. Especially with the funnest thing about the new action I'm running now is that with the Alpha Legion T-Sun combined, there's so much teleport now. With the new T-Suns, James, there's the Cult of Duplicity. And you basically, every one of your Psychers, which, Rubric's Marine Squad or Obliterator Terminators, they come with a Psyker in the squad. They all gain a power that costs Warp Charge 7 to teleport anywhere on the board. So every turn in the Psychic phase, you're teleporting a unit. And, if you wanted to, like say, for instance, Rubric Marines or Terminators, you can cast Weaver, you could teleport them, cast Weaver or Fates on them for +1 invuln, and then there's a stratagem to give them another +1 invuln. So that you're taking them down to a 3-up invuln, and then let's say you're getting shot with any 1 damage weapons, you're getting +1 to that save, and getting a 2-up invuln. They can shoot you with -4 AP, but if it's single damage, you're still getting a 2-up invuln against it in the open.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Can you do that 1,000 Sun teleport power onto another 1,000 Sun unit?
You can. I think it's within 6 inches. Yep.
You can
So
slingshot.
could you hypothetically teleport a unit, then have the teleported unit warp time?
No, that's because that's in the rules that way. That's per FAQ. What's interesting is I actually had to pull this up today. And I think I can access it pretty easily. The FAQ that describes, and it wasn't it was one of the more recent FAQs where they had to break down to us what exactly happens when a model leaves the board and comes back. And that's the detail of the FAQ. I got it. I'm pulling it up right now. And friends, pulling up the rules accurately, that's a part of taking fun seriously here. If a rule or ability causes a unit to be removed from the battlefield and subsequently set back up, the following rules apply to that unit. It says that basically if you take yourself off the board, then it used to be that it was, it said only if it was only written for the question was about a stratagem. When a stratagem picks you up off the board, but it was like, because they only wrote the FAQ about a strat, it didn't affect things that were from psychic abilities or from character abilities. And then the FAQ came out to be like, no, here's how it works. You pull something off the board, it counts as coming in from reserves. All rules that, basically number 1 here, any rule that are triggered by or applied to units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcements are also triggered by and applied to that unit when it's set up on the battlefield. So basically it counts as coming in from reserves, even though it's not from reserves.
And this is a real kick in the nuts to Necrons because you use My Will Be Done, and then you fail, and then you lose My Will Be Done.
Right. And then next, another very important thing is that you count as moving no matter what. It says models in that unit count as having moved a distance equal to the move characteristic that turn. So basically whatever your full movement is on your model, that's what you have moved if you pick up and come back.
That was actually super relevant for Larry Oliver, who played in the Warp Charge Major and got second with Tyranid Monster. I didn't miss it for because
we got robot on you, Chris. Sorry, buddy. It was way too much robot. I didn't catch any of that.
None of it.
But
damn.
Yeah, Larry.
Apparently, no.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it was just really choppy on that. You got excited about Larry Oliver doing something that was relevant to his list from our major. Larry got a second, for those that don't know, with a 5-0 victory.
Yeah. So when you come out of reserve, obviously you count as having moved. The exit crane, which can double shoot if it doesn't move, got a new stratagem of Blood of Ball for once having remained stationary and not having moved in the shooting phase.
Right.
So he literally was gaming the stratagem to break the reserve rule.
Right. Yes. Totally. Yeah. He was coming in with the Tyranid drop pod with an exocrine, and then using the strat to count as not having moved, and because he had to, because he did count as moving when coming in from reserve. So just important little mechanics there. I forgot what ended up getting us on the tangent about coming in from reserves here.
It was the
the 1,000 Sun shit, talking about the Cult of Duplicity.
That one.
Yeah, being able to teleport. So James, the fun sauce, and just James and Chris, but James hasn't paid attention to Thousand Sun stuff. But you get the at the start of the game in the deployment step, you can spend 1 CP to infiltrate deploy a unit of rubrics now. So if you take like a 20 man of rubrics that you can then make up to, we were talking about making them a 2-up fucking invuln save with all his dust against 1 damage weapons. Well, you can start them more than 9, just outside of 9 inches of the enemy deployment zone in the deployment step, and then get to move after that.
That's too gross.
Right?
That's literally what forward operatives was.
Yeah.
They changed it.
Yeah, so you get to do that while also getting the dark matter crystal, some Zangors if you want to, or whatever the fuck you want to pick up and move. That's infantry.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So you're getting the forward operative style infiltrate. You're getting the dark matter crystal turn 1, and you're getting a psychic teleport turn 1.
Why can't they let me do that with berserkers?
Right, so that's like so much shit that's teleporting in their face. Not to mention that if you throw in Alpha Legion, now you are getting forward operatives, and you can start using like the Master of Diversion and shit like that in the Field Commander or whatever to fucking throw models around that way. So you're really getting a lot, especially when you mix T-Sun and Alpha Legion, you really get a lot of redeploy your whole army, because Alpha Legion has like pick 3 units and redeploy them. T-Sun's also has a redeploy your like up to 3 units, I think. So you can really, like, if you deploy first to go first and they counter deploy, you could almost redeploy your whole army to shift all that.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah. So you got that plus all the ways that so like Mike had the Volt spam, and he was going to pick up D3 of them and put them right in front of my face when he alpha struck. But in the deployment step, I was able to deploy out and set, cover the board up plus forward operatives so that his infiltrate shenanigans was all shut down with just how much forward maneuverability they had before the game even begun,
Yeah.
It's super cool, man. There's so much tech with it. So I've been having a great time with that. And not to mention, think about Alpha Legion being able to pick up a unit and redeploy them the very next unit turn. You got Conceal, so like all of a sudden, like you got your Obliterators on the line. Cool, they deploy, counter deploy, so there's no way your Obliterator is going to get in range. Cool, I'm just going to pick them up and deep strike them next turn, 1 CP. Or they fuck up and you're like, I'm going to forward operatives these guys and move 9, and hey, their weapons are assault, so I'm going to advance, and hey, this Demon Prince is going to run over here and warp time them. Now I'm in fucking range, and I'm going to take this big unit out.
Right.
There's so much tricks now, and you could do that or not do that, or I'm going to warp time that unit, not this unit, I'm going to fucking, the main deal, what sucks is that the shoot twice strat for the Rubric Marines or the Terminators, that's only if you didn't move. So that's like what we were talking about, the Exocrine. So I can't do the teleport power on the Terminators and then get to use the shoot twice strat, which makes me sad.
Yep.
But you can't have it all, boys.
Nope.
Yeah, but those are the mechanics that I've been reading into lately is, paying close attention to that FAQ and picking up models and putting them back, because there's so much new ways to do it with the T-Sun's Alpha Legion. And that's just been a fun new way to experiment, because otherwise I'm playing Space Woes or I'm playing the Mauler Fiend Slanesh list, which is fun as fuck, and I have nothing else to really care about. But I am really hungry and excited for new Chaos Demon rules, and I guess just fucking 9th edition, where I'm going to be building new lists entirely for everything I own,
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that's super exciting. And, I mean, considering that they're porting over so many rules out of recent rules changes from Psychic Awakening, I think we can all expect big things. I mean, dude, even just the Chaos Knight stuff, I think that could change a lot of your lists existing right now, George, pretty dramatically.
As far as the need to bring certain kind of weaponry, or just to put Chaos Knights in my list?
Yes.
Both, yes.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't touched on the Chaos Knight stuff, but like the mini Knights, the Halverins or whatever, there's a stratagem to give them outflank now, so that could play really interestingly with aggro lists like Disco Lords and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's ways to now reroll hits and wounds. And like, there's one relic for specific Chaos Knights now, even that's like reroll the damage on a shooting attack or close combat attack, or the hit and wound roll. Like, you can do like 1 dice of each, basically, it gets really, really spicy really quickly, especially when you look at Chaos as a composition where, like, for Knights, like, the double thermal cannon is probably one of the most bursty, cost-effective, compositions.
Right.
But, like, getting to reroll damage there, gross.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially if you're in half range.
Yeah.
And you're rolling
Two
2d6
dice,
and you get to
yeah.
re-roll it.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. There's all kinds of stuff that's coming on the horizon, and all of these rules, being aimed for 9th edition. I mean, I think it speaks well because, like, I think 8th to 9th is the first edition in a long time we've seen where it's not as big of an overhaul. Like, it does still feel for a lot of players the way they've described it as almost like an 8.9, as opposed to like, hey, this is true 9th edition. Like, we haven't just scrapped the whole system.
Yeah, I definitely feel warm and fuzzy inside about it. Like, the things that I've read haven't scared me or anything like that,
I'm terrified.
Yeah?
No.
Feels good. Feels nice.
I'm optimistic they'll make combat good again.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
It's not that it's not good. It's already good. It's just getting there is the challenging part.
Yeah.
It seems like that we're getting, like play testers, tournament, competitive play. It seems like their focus and mentality is right. And that they want to cater to the people that want a tight game. And it's not just about the narrative. Even though there's a lot of cool things to say about that. The Crusader stuff looks cool,
Yeah, and you mentioned the tournament thing. I mean, there's a lot of talk that they expect the new, like, because they're releasing missions for all formats of play, narrative and match play and all that. There's a really, really, really big discussion that the new missions for 9th edition
are going to become the standard.
Yes, they're basically going to be like ITC or Nova style missions,
Well,
which should be no surprise considering one of the big staff changes recently.
Exactly. They promoted Mike Brandt to be the master director of global events or whatever,
Oh wow.
He is the War Master.
Yeah, did you not catch that?
Nope.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. Mike Brandt did his own like thank you type thing, or he wrote a post that he's no longer like affiliated with the decision making that goes on between Nova Open and GW. He's like, look, I'm a GW employee now. Nova Open, I pass over to Lori Brandt, which I think is his mom.
Yeah, it's his mom.
And so now, like, all negotiations and things, there won't be any favoritism and shit like that, apparently, is what he's saying. But beyond that, the dude that has basically been a huge part of the competitive scene and an ITC winner himself, Mike Brandt, now is the head of global events for GW. He's literally, he said his dream had come true because he's making a living now, that he's getting paid by GW, a real big boy job, to fucking do that. And that's pretty awesome, man. I love seeing success in the hobby, especially one where people can really make a livelihood out of it, because I know that it's something I've fucking dreamed about for a while now.
I think actually him getting that salary position is why we got the price hike. I blame Mike Brandt.
I'm right there with you, dude.
Good one. So it's Mike Brandt's fault that GW rose their prices on fucking...
You heard it here first.
Oh, that's good. He would probably definitely laugh at that. He's a good guy. He'd probably crack a smile. That's funny.
Yeah, but at the same time, be like shifty-eyed, like, how'd you know?
Yeah, dude. No, but that'll be awesome, and I could totally see that being the case. Like, even if you read the Nova Open packet, they're like, hey, we know the ITC is cool, but look, we've been around for like just as long, and they basically like take their format out of our format. So we're Nova, and our missions are Nova missions. You know what I'm talking about? They usually say it in that kind of tone,
Makes sense, bro.
Yeah. So now that same sort of genius is gonna probably be directly in the fucking GW book, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love it. That's what we want, man. I think it's healthy and good for the game, and it's just I remember feeling worried and upset years ago when to believe that the CEO of GW actually thought that we cared more about collecting the models than playing the game. That fucked with me. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like how that was like the catchphrase?
Oh, dude, like literally that was in their stockholder report.
Yeah,
I
fucked
mean,
with
like-
me. I was like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong, GW. We want to play competitively. We want balance. Make fucking Soul Grinders great again, you sons of bitches.
Dude,
Come on.
This is your opportunity in ninth.
Yeah, they said we can bring whatever we want.
If they make Soul Grinders great, I'll buy 3.
Dude, they're going to kill rule of 3, and the best meta list is to have like 6 fucking Soul Grinders.
Oh, dude, we didn't actually touch on that either, but like with
I
the
want
attack-
Soul Grinders, Bloodthirsters, and Berserkers and Rhinos rushing across the board.
Yeah.
Nothing would make me happier.
Could you imagine if like the Blood Slaughterer from Forge World was like in the book too?
I love that model.
Dude, I actually,
It's such a cool model.
for funsies, I have 6 pictures of Forge World Chaos models we actually have in the studio. I will present them to you now. Here's the Dreadclaw. Here's Angrath. I'm sorry you guys can't see this. Chris is driving. Fucking here is the Brass Scorpion painted up by James Sheets. And then from the lovely commission painter eBay, the Decimator engine there. Lovely model. I fell down the stairs and smashed him to bits. James painted this Scabathrax the Bloated on the right here. And we have a what is he? Blood Slaughterer, which was a weird name. I've always like, every time I just see Blood Slaughterer for this Forge World model, I'm like, you guys didn't try very hard on that one.
No, dude, it slaughters all the blood.
Corner words together.
Like it's
It
hard.
slaughters all the blood, dude.
Like it's super hard to spell Scabathrax, even though it sounds easy to say.
You just call him Scabby, bro.
Yeah, the Blood Slaughterer finished. But yeah, excited. Just like the Lord of Skulls is right inside the book. I want to see the fucking Brass Scorpion right in the book. I was surprised that the Baneblade wasn't built right into the Astra Militarum book. I think that's actually in the Forge World Index, correct?
I have no idea.
I think I was looking that up the other day. I think that was the case though, which I thought was interesting. Just like the Lord of Skulls, I thought the Baneblade was like a staple of the fucking Astra Militarum, arsenal, and that it would be in the straight up codex, But it's probably a made to order thing. I find all that back of the house stuff really interesting.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, and I mean it's really, none of us really know at this point, but how they're going to handle this new wave of publications, I think, has us all on edge. Like,
Yeah.
we don't know.
Yeah. Like we don't know. Like, is the Necron release? Is that a couple weekends away or whatever, or is that the next Psychic Awakening, or is
It's years away, bro. Years.
nuh-uh?
Years and years. Just like they did with Sisters. They're like, hey, we're gonna come up with Sisters next year.
That's fucked
and then
up.
It was 2 years later.
Yeah, but they were showing us like heads and shit. They were like, here's a preview of like a head.
Bro.
Here's a torso and a cape and shit. They gave us a whole line, dude.
Daenerys Lieutenant.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna come out with all the Marine parts first.
But I am confused. Is it Admech and Knights next, or is it Necrons next?
No, it's everything's next.
So this coming weekend, the Engine War book goes on pre-order.
Okay.
That's Admech and Knights.
Okay.
Admech, Knights, Demons.
What? That's the one with demons in it?
Yeah.
Why are we seeing all these community previews about fucking Admech and them other guys, and we ain't seeing nothing about demons? Dude, the Knights.
Well, we've seen one Loyalist and one Chaos out of the Book of 4. So I imagine next we're going to see the next Loyalist, probably Loyalist Knights, and then Demons if they're alternating.
Oh man, demons are tomorrow. Bobby says we're about to get demon shit. Fucking James, about to get demon shit, dog.
Demon shit?
Dude,
It better be all corn demon shit.
it's gonna be all kinds of demon shit. I'm excited about that.
So Grinders are gonna be great again?
Yeah. They are from the demon book, aren't they?
They are from the
They
demon
are.
It's so annoying they don't have the demon engine keyword.
book. No.
But I mean, if they make them great in the demon Psychic Awakening, I'll forgive it. I'll forgive it all, dude.
Dude, they could just add one keyword and just everyone will be happier.
Man, dude, James, if they make this as cool as they've made the Ritual of the Damned, the Space Wolves, the Alpha Legion, like literally just the 7 strats you get with the Alpha Legion page is ridiculous and game changing. Couple sprinkle in some relics and shit. They could do it, man. It doesn't take a lot. Make the demons amazing. All
Dude,
by themselves.
I just hear this pure sincerity in your heart.
I want it. I want it so bad.
Who wants to believe?
I want to believe, bro.
Yeah.
it to be fantastic, and I can be excited to play Warhammer again.
Bobby says demons are getting some badass shit, man. I think he put that in caps lock, dude. It
Dude,
says
I
in
think
caps lock.
Bobby is lying to us right to our face right now.
He might be. He did give me some bullshit earlier.
Oh, shit. But we're at our hour mark, so we can't quite talk about it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, guys, James is hanging with some homies, and Chris is fucking driving, and, you know, I missed last week. It's my fault. It's you guys go check out all the bat rests we've been doing, and there's more to come. Sunday you can see me teach Chris Infinity. That'll be interesting. And, yeah, really fucking excited about everything. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
9th edition.
Yeah, we'll catch you next week for sure. Keep taking fun seriously. We'll see you next time.